Welcome back. All right, so news of the day video for all you fine people for today, for your Wednesday. I am wearing the Winter Classic St. Louis, which just being cream color means it's not see-through. I'm wearing a black t-shirt with a print on it, and when I wear a white jersey, it's see-through. Maybe all the jerseys should be cream colored like this, right? That'd be actually kind of nice. Anyways, the NHL has come out and announced that they're in line with the CDC on the dropping asymptomatic positives isolation period from 10 days to 5. So this will drop the amount of time that players are out of the lineup for teams around the NHL. So this is honestly, and again, it's with a negative test, and again, it's for the asymptomatic positives, which a lot of the players are not experiencing symptoms. So it makes a lot of sense to drop the isolation period. I know there's all the other discussions out there as well, but I'm just saying that dropping the isolation period from 10 to 5 days should help with the current situation we're seeing in the National Hockey League. It should mitigate that pretty nicely. So yeah, that's the plan, and we'll see what happens. January 1st is still going. Jonas Brodin's been thrown into the protocol list. I don't have the protocol list on the board at this point because it's a lot of names, and all the names that are going on the list, all the names going off the list. It just kind of becomes a wall of noise for me where I'm looking through it and I read the names, and then when I'm done I'm like, okay, wait, who was that? So yeah, it just kind of becomes noise. But the matchup between St. Louis and Minnesota is still on, and it is potentially going to be the coldest ever. So we're having record cold here. The one thing that I've always kind of taken solace in is that if it's really, really, really cold here for us, that means that anywhere east of here, it's even colder. So I always kind of had that in my mind of, yeah, it's really cold this morning, but at least I know it's colder in Kamloops. At least I know it's probably colder in Calgary and Edmonton. And at least I know that while it's cold here, it's not the coldest it could be. So there's that. But apparently, Minnesota being affected by the cold air too. It is bizarre. If you look at the U.S. weather, it is just bizarre to look at right now. There are areas getting springtime warmth and some heat, and there are areas right next to it where it's bitterly cold. So this could be a very bitterly cold game. And I remembered the game between Montreal and Edmonton in Edmonton, and that was a very cold game, and apparently this one could be even colder. So we'll see what happens, because, you know, that can affect ice conditions too if it's too cold. And I mean, it's better than Lake Tahoe last year where the ice was melting. That was embarrassing. So at least it's not that situation. But yeah, the ice being that cold, it's going to favor players that grew up with backyard rinks. It's going to favor players who, yeah, they've played outside in those kind of conditions before. Kaprizov already saying, yeah, no, I'm used to this. It's fine. So we'll see how this goes, but for players from my neck of the woods, they may not be as used to it because we don't have backyard rinks here. Not a thing. Outdoor rinks aren't really a thing around here either. I mean, I think there's one in Vancouver, and I think that's it. And yeah, because here it doesn't stay cold long enough to have backyard rinks, so nobody has a backyard rink that I've seen. But yeah, so there you go. And I know they're common enough if you're Canadian and you're east of here, right? So out of the World Juniors today, we had a forfeit yesterday of the U.S. to Switzerland. Today, Czechia forfeits their game to Finland due to a positive test. And it's probably going to be a little bit less controversial, only because U.S. would have beaten Switzerland in all likelihood. In this case, Czechia against Finland. Finland likely wins that game anyway. So it's recorded then as a 1-0 win for Finland. The question's been asked of, so how many teams have to finish this tournament for the tournament to officially finish? Well, we'll see. So yeah, from what I've seen, it's one positive test at this point. And so for the Americans, what they went through, now they have to test everybody else. If there's no further positive tests, they play. If there's more positive tests, things get kind of murky from there. So yeah, the World Juniors going through it right now. And so Czechia, the latest to forfeit. Back to NHL news. Mike Smith has been activated from LTIR, so he should be good to go then. And Duncan Keith returns tonight for Edmonton. The interesting thing is going to be, as Edmonton's blue line is filled out, which players do you drop? Because some of the guys who filled in have been pretty darn good. Matt Duchene also returns tonight for the Nashville Predators. So Nashville, who have had their share of players out of the lineup. Now they get Duchesne back. And this is where that break kind of helps some teams, because players who would have missed extra games, now they don't. If you're a Florida fan, you're getting a lot of players back tonight. Barkov's back, Huberdeau's back, Marchment and Mammon are all back as well. So for Florida, who I know have kind of fallen off in recent weeks, getting guys back should help them. And Florida, if they can get their groove back, they're still one of the best teams in the league. It's a matter, though, of having that momentum and being able to keep that up. And that can be really tricky. So for Florida, a lot of guys back in the lineup. And if you're a Buffalo fan, good news. Buffalo, who have been competitive their last, 5-10 games. And again, competitive is not winning, but it's competitive. It's more fun to watch than just endless losing. Alex Tuch debuts tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. I'm calling it now. I think he'll be a very popular member of the Buffalo Sabres. I always like Tuch in Vegas. And if they can figure out the stretch pass to Alex Tuch, he's going to score a share of goals for Buffalo too. If he can get off to a good start, I wouldn't be surprised if he has 20 goals, even though he's debuting so late in the season. 20 goals would not surprise me with Tuch. It's just a matter of finding the right line mates and, getting that stretch pass to him. And he's pretty good at putting the puck in the net. So this is the first that we'll see of how well they did in the Eichel trade, right? It's a trade that we can better look at years down the road. But if Tuch fits in really well with Buffalo and if he performs quite well, that's not bad. So we'll see what happens tonight with that, as well as others, and how those protocol lists change. And again, that's why I don't even have it on the board, because the protocol lists seem to be changing during the day. Sometimes it could be right before the game. So there's players going into it, coming out of it. I know for the Leafs, there's another player. Liljegren's been added, so that's 15. I don't know how many are coming out, because they'll come out. It's a lot. And so the NHL, I think, is doing their best to navigate it right now. And I don't know that they're pleasing anybody with it, but they're doing their best, I think. Anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yes, if you're going to that Winter Classic, bundle up. It's going to be cold. But if you live in Minnesota, you're probably well-versed in dealing with the cold anyways. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.